Hey, this is my overview and recap for Nancy Drew Season 2, Episode 13. We get some nice new character developments to know where the series is headed next, and some nice scenes as well. Let's get right into it. Nancy wakes up with Gil and finds a newspaper headlining her retracting her statement against Everett Hudson. She then tells Gil about an old case from a missing boat with missing pickles that she wants to solve so she can try and clear her name and gain the people's trust again. We then move to Ace and Amanda, where Ace tells Amanda that Tom is apparently a little upset at Ace for introducing him to Grant, but Tom doesn't want to talk about it. The two of them then go to the main Bobbsey house because Gil stole Amanda's money that she's saving for a backpacking trip. I think the planned trip is a way for the show to write off Amanda if they ever want to move forward with Ace. Anyway, Nancy and Ace see each other and it's a little awkward for them. The Bobbseys apparently have a boat and Gil isn't able to go on the trip, so Amanda and Ace is substituted. They go to the island and Nancy and Ace end up having a conversation about their personal relationships, and Ace quips back at Nancy that they're both capable of surprises, since Nancy is with Gil and Ace with Amanda. The group gets a little jump scare and Ace and Amanda end up holding hands, with Nancy seeming very jealous about it. They then find a camp and the girl that lives there named Birdie. They end up taking her back to the Claw. George and Bess ask Nancy what she thinks of Ace and Amanda, and Nancy just says she's competent. She really doesn't want to talk about it. The Drew crew start discussing about Birdie when weird stuff started happening inside the Claw. Birdie ends up killing George's parakeet, Rip the parakeet, and it starts raining ash inside the Claw. They then decide to move to Nick's loft, which Bess says is a good idea since no one lives there.
Okay, my loft's mostly made of bricks. It's way more fire resistant than this place.
Yeah, and it's only empty because you have no tenants.
What?
Is that the head of sauce pod?
Anyway, they're able to figure out the name of the ghost, Fire Souls, from Birdie, and the rest of the crew are able to research and figure out the origins of the ghost. The Fire Souls are the ghost of the USS Bannister ship from the War of 1812. The ship is fictional, and apparently they're pretty ruthless and have been sinking ships with no survivors, even after their deaths. Nancy helps Birdie regain her memories and she agrees to perform the ritual to get rid of the Fire Souls. The ritual works and we actually get to see the Fire Souls for the first time in this episode. I genuinely thought it was going to have something to do with the dolls, apparently not, but anyways, they're able to get Birdie back to her family and the uncle started acting a little sus. Back at Nick's loft, Bess and Nick are sweeping the place when Bess starts to come clean about her and Odette, but she ends up backing off last minute. I wonder if they're actually going to try and give Odette a body. That will surely be interesting. At the Claw, Nancy is able to figure out that the burn marks done by the Fire Souls is different from the way Birdie's boat burned down, so she, alongside Ace and Amanda, decided to investigate Birdie's uncle's shop. They end up having to open a safe, and Nancy and Ace help each other out on this while Amanda watches in jealousy. I'll touch more on this later. Nancy figures out that the uncle was laundering money through the boat shop, but their investigation gets cut short when she receives a call that Birdie is missing. She goes back to Birdie's house and tries to tell the officer that the uncle killed Birdie's parents due to the parents finding out about the money laundering. The officer dismisses her claims and calls her a liar due to her retracting her statement against Everett. This honestly makes no sense since Nancy has always been correct for the most part. Anyway, Nancy is able to speak to Carolyn, Birdie's auntie, to try and get info on where Birdie is and to try and get Carolyn to tell the police about the laundering scheme. We go back to the Claw and see Amanda putting Ace on the spot about Nancy. Ace reassures her that they're just friends. I personally think that Amanda will see that Ace and Nancy have feelings for each other and she will give away for them when she is about to go on her backpacking trip. Gil then comes out and confronts Amanda about the backpacking and we get our first sign of Ace versus Gil. This is definitely set up for when those two will fight over Nancy. Anyway, Nancy ends up finding Birdie at the docks and tells her that the Fire Souls were not the cause of the accident and that they actually did save Birdie from drowning. Birdie ends up freeing the Fire Souls and we get a very nice touching goodbye moment with Birdie and the Fire Souls. And it seems like it's affecting Nancy as well. Going to the epilogue, Nancy was able to regain a bit of her reputation back with the police or the people of Horseshoe Bay. George and Odette respect each other now, and she even lets Odette take control for a bit. Nancy and Ace speak to each other to clarify what's going on with Nancy. Ace tells her that she has changed, especially with her attitude towards the Hudsons. Ace then gets a bit jealous and tells Nancy that Gil is not the right guy for her now. Bess and Georgette have a Netflix and chill moment over at the Drew residence, and both have made it clear to be friends since Odette is respecting George's boundaries. We'll see how far this will go. Going back to the Claw, Nick is deciding to turn his apartment building into a youth drop-in center. Nick himself is asking about how Nancy is doing because he also noticed that Nancy is acting very differently due to her dropping her statement against Everett. Nancy compares Celia with the privateers that if the Fire Souls could change for Birdie, maybe so could the Hudsons. Nick feels uneasy about this, and then Nancy leaves. When she left, she even ends up putting on the beanie that Celia gave her by the end of the episode, and Nick notices and notifies Ryan that they possibly lost Nancy on their side. We have a few episodes left, and I'm excited to see how these storylines will be resolved. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and if you want more content like this, you can also subscribe. Have a great day.